The Last Demon by Isaac Bashevis Singer, translated from Yiddish by Marta Glicklich and Cecil Hemley. I, a demon, bear witness that there are no more demons left. Why demons when man himself is a demon? Why persuade to evil someone who is already convinced? I am the last of the persuaders. I board in the attic into Shevitz and draw my sustenance from a Yiddish storybook, a leftover from the days before the great catastrophe. The stories in the book are Talbum and Duckmilk, but the Hebrew letters have a weight of their own. I don't have to tell you that I am a Jew. What else, a Gentile? I've heard that there are Gentile demons, but I don't know any, nor do I wish to know them. Jacob and Esau don't become in-laws. I came here from Lublin. The Shevitz is a god-forsaken village. Adam didn't even stop to pee here. It is so small that a wagon goes through town, and the horse is in the marketplace just as the rear wheels reach the toll gate. There is mud into Shevitz from Sukkot, the old Tishbiov. The goats of the town don't need to lift their beards to chew at the thatched roof at the cottages. Hens roost in the middle of the street, build birds' nests under women's bonnets. In the tailor's synagogue, a billy goat is the tent in the quorum. Don't ask me how I managed to get to this smallest letter in the smallest of all prayer books. But when Asmodeus bids you to go, you go. After Lublin, the road is familiar as far as Zamoch. From there, you are on your own. I was told to look for an ardent weathercock with a crow perched upon its comb on the roof of the sturdy house. Once upon a time the cock turned in the wind, but for years now it hasn't moved. Not even in thunder and lightning. In Teshevitz, even ardent weathercocks die. I speak in the present tense, as for me time stands still. I arrive, I look around. For the life of me I can't find a single one of our men. The cemetery is empty, there is no outhouse. I go to the ritual bathhouse, but I don't hear a sound. I sit down on the highest bench, look down on the stone, on which the buckets of water are poured each Friday, and wonder, why am I needed here? If a little demon is wanted, is it necessary to import one all the way from Lublin? Aren't there enough devils in Samosk? Outside the sun is shining, close to summer solstice, but inside the bathhouse it's gloomy and cold. Above me is a spider's web, and within the web a spider wriggling its legs, seeming to spin but drawing no thread. There is no sign of a fly, not even the shell of a fly. What does this creature eat? I ask myself. Its own insides? Suddenly, I hear it chanting in a Talmudic sing-song. A lion isn't satisfied by a morsel, and a ditch isn't filled up with dirt from its own walls. I burst out laughing. Is that so? Why have you disguised yourself as a spider? I've already been a worm, a flea, a frog. I've been sitting here for 200 years without a stitch of work to do. But you need a permit to live. They don't sin here? Petty men, petty sins. Today someone covets another man's broom. Tomorrow he fasts and puts peas in his shoes. Ever since Abraham Zalman was under the illusion that he was the Messiah, the son of Joseph, the blood of the people has congealed in their veins. If I were Satan, I wouldn't even send one of our first graders here. How much does it cost him? What's new in the world, he asks me. It's not been so good for our crowd. What happened? The Holy Spirit grows stronger? Stronger? Only in Teshevitz is he powerful. No one's heard of him in the large cities. Even in Lublin he's out of style. Well, that should be fine. But it isn't, I say. All guilty for us, then all innocent. It has reached a point where people want to sin beyond their capacities. They martyr themselves for the most trivial of sins. If that's the way it is, what are we needed for? A short while ago, I was flying over Letterov Street, and I saw a man dressed in a skunked coat. He had a black beard and wavy side locks. An amber cigar was clamped between his lips. Across the street from him, an official's wife was walking, so it occurred to me to say, "That's quite a bargain, don't you think, uncle?" All I expected from him was a thought. I had my handkerchief ready if he should spit on me. But what does the man do? "Why waste your breath on me?" he calls out angrily. "I'm willing. Start working on her." What sort of misfortune is this? Enlightenment? In the 200 years you've been sitting on your tail here, Satan has cooked up a new dish of kasha. The Jews have now developed writers, Yiddish ones, Hebrew ones, and they've taken over our trade. We grow hoarse talking to every adolescent, but they print their kitsch by the thousands and distribute it to Jews everywhere. They know all our tricks, mockery, piety. They have 100 reasons why a rat must be kosher. All they want to do is redeem the world. Why, if you could corrupt nothing, have you been left here for 200 years? And if you could do nothing in 200 years, what do they expect from me in 2 weeks? You know the proverb, a guest for a while sees a mile. What's there to see? A young rabbi has moved here from Mulberry. He's not yet 30, but he's absolutely stuffed with knowledge, knows the 36 tractates of the Talmud by heart. He is the greatest Kabbalist in Poland, fasts every Monday and Thursday and bathes in the ritual bath when the water is ice cold. He won't permit any of us to talk to him. What's more, he has a handsome wife, and that's bread in the basket. What do we have to tempt him with? You might as well try to break through an iron wall. If I were asked my opinion, I would say that the Shevitz should be removed from our files. All I ask is that you get me out of here before I go mad. No, first, I must have a talk with this rabbi. How do you think I should start? You tell me. He'll start pouring salt on your tail before you open your mouth. I'm from Lebanon. I'm not easily frightened. On the way to the rabbi, I ask the imp, "What have you tried so far?" "What haven't I tried?" he answers. "A woman?" Won't look at one. "Heresy." He knows all the answers. "Money?" Doesn't know what a coin looks like. "Reputation." He runs from it. Doesn't he look backwards? Doesn't even move his head. He's gotta have some angle. Where's it hidden? The window of the rabbi's study is opened, and in we fly. There is the usual paraphernalia around, an ark with the Holy Scroll, bookshelves, a mezuzah in a wooden case. The rabbi, a young man with a blonde beard, blue eyes, yellow side locks, a high forehead, and a deep widow's peak, sits on the rabbinical chair, peering in the Gemara. He's fully equipped, yarmulke, stash, and a fringed garment, with each of the fringes braided 8 times. I listen to his skull. Pure thoughts. He sways and chants in Hebrew. Rachel Tuhuna, Bella Gaza, and then translates a woolly sheep fleece. In Hebrew, Rachel is both a sheep and a girl's name, I say. So, a sheep has wool and a girl has hair. Therefore, if she's not androgynous, a girl has pubic hair. Stop babbling and let me study, the rabbi says in anger. Wait a second, I say. Torah won't get cold. It's true that Jacob loved Rachel, but when he was given Leah instead, she wasn't poisoned. And when Rachel gave Bilhah as a concubine, what did Leah do to spite her sister? She put Zilpah in his bed. That was before the giving of the Torah. What about King David? That happened before the excommunication by Rabbi Gershom. Before or after Rabbi Gershom, a male is a male. Rascal! Sharadai Kara Satan, the rabbi exclaims. Grabbing both of the side locks, he begins to tremble, as if assaulted by a bad dream. What nonsense am I thinking? He takes his earlobe and closes his ears. I keep on talking to him, but he doesn't listen. He becomes absorbed in the difficult passage, and there's no longer anyone to speak to. The little imp from Bashevis says, "He's a hard one to hook, isn't he? Tomorrow he'll fast and roll in a bed of thistles. He'll give away his last penny to charity. Such a believer nowadays, strong as a rock, and his wife a sacrificial lamb. What of the children? They're still infants. Perhaps he has a mother-in-law. She's already in the other world. Any quarrels? Not even half an enemy. Where did you find such a jewel? Once in a while, something like that turns up among the Jews. The one I've got to get. This is my first job around here. I've been promised that if I succeed, I'll be transferred to Odessa. What's so good about that? It's as near as paradise as our kind gets. You can sleep 24 hours a day. The population sins and you don't lift a finger. So what do you do all day? We play with our women. Here, there is not a single one of our girls the imp size. There was one old bitch, but she expired. So what's left? What Onan did. That doesn't lead anywhere. Help me, and I swear by Asmodeus' beard that I will get you out of here. We have an opening for a mixer of bitter herbs. You only work Passovers. I hope it works out, but don't count your chickens. We've taken care of tougher than he. A week goes by, and our own business has not moved forward. I myself in a dirty mood. A week in Bashevis is equal to a year in Lublin. The Bashevis imp is all right, but when you sit 200 years in such a hole, you become a yokel. He cracks jokes that don't amuse Enoch, and convulses with laughter. He drops names from the Haggadah. Every one of his stories wears a long beard. I'd like to get the hell out of here, but it doesn't take a magician to return home with nothing. I have enemies among my colleagues, and I must beware of intrigue. Perhaps I was sent here just to break my neck. When devils stop warring with peoples, they start tearing each other apart. Experience has taught that all of the snares we use, there are three that work unfailingly: lust, pride, and avarice. No one can evade all three, not even Rabbi Snotz himself. Of the three, pride is the strongest meshes. According to the Talmud, a scholar is permitted the eighth part of an eighth part of vanity, but a learned man generally exceeds the quota. When I see that the days are passing and that the rabbi of the Shevet remains stubborn, I concentrate on vanity. Rabbi of the Shevets, I say. I wasn't born yesterday. I came from Lublin, where the streets are paved with exegesis of the Talmud. We use manuscript to heat our ovens. The floors of our attics sag under the weight of the Kabbalah. Not even in Lublin have I met a man of your eminence. How does it happen, I ask? No one's heard of you. True saints should hide themselves, perhaps, but silence will not bring redemption. You should be the leader of the generation, and not merely a rabbi of this community, holy though it is. The time has come for you to reveal yourself. Heaven and earth are waiting for you. Messiah himself sits in the bird's nest looking down in search of an unblemished saint like you. But what are you doing about it? Here you sit on your rabbinical chair, laying down the law on which pots and which pans are kosher. Forgive me the comparison, but if it is as if an elephant were put to work hauling straw. Who are you and what do you want? The rabbi asks in terror. Why don't you let me study? There is a time when the service of God requires the neglect of the Torah, I scream. Any student can study the Gemara. Who sent you here? I was sent, I am here. Do you think they don't know about you up there? The higher-ups are annoyed with you. Broad shoulders must bear the share of the load. To put it into rhyme, the humble can stumble. Hearkened by this, Abraham Zalman was Messiah, son of Joseph, and you are ordained to prepare the way for the Messiah, son of David. But stop sleeping, get ready for battle. The world sinks to the 49th gate of uncleanliness. But you have broken through to the seventh firmament. Only one cry is heard in the mansions.
The man from Bashevis.
The angel of charge of Edom has marshalled a clan of demons against you. Satan lies in wait also. Asmodeus is undermining you. Lilith and Tammah hover at your bedside. You don't see them? But Shabiri and Biri are treading at your heels. If the angels were not defending you, that unholy crowd would pound you to dust and ashes. But you do not stand alone, Rabbi of the Shevitz. Lord Sandalphon guards every step. Metatron watches over you from his luminescent sphere. Everything hangs in the balance. Man of the Shevitz, you can tip the scales. What should I do? Mark well that I tell you, even if I command you to break the law, do as I bid. Who are you? What is your name? Elijah the Tishbite. I have a ram's horn of the Messiah ready. Whether the redemption comes or we wander in the darkness of Egypt another 2,689 years is up to you. The rabbi of Teshevitz remains silent for a long time. His face becomes as white as the slips of paper on which he writes his commentaries. How do I know you're speaking the truth? He asked in a trembling voice. Forgive me, holy angel, but I require a sign. You are right. I will give you a sign. And I raise such a wind in the rabbi's study that the slip of paper on which he is writing rises from the table and starts flying like a pigeon. The pages of the Gemara turn by themselves. The curtain of the Holy Scroll billows. The rabbi's yarmulke jumps from his head, soars to the ceiling and drops it down to his skull. Is that how nature behaves? I ask. No. Do you believe me now? The rabbi of the Shevitz hesitates. What do you want me to do? The leader of this generation must become famous. How do you become famous? Go and travel the world. What do I do in the world? Preach and collect money. But what do I collect? First of all, collect. Later on, I tell you what to do with the money. Who will contribute? When I order, Jews give. How will I support myself? A rabbinical emissary is entitled to a part of what he collects. And my family? You will get enough for all. What am I supposed to do right now? Shut the Gemara. Ah, but my soul yearns for the Torah, the rabbi of Teshevitz groans. Nevertheless, he lifts the cover of the book, ready to shut it. If he had done that, he would have been through. What did Joseph de la Rena do? Just hand Samuel a pinch of snuff. I am already laughing to myself. Rabbi of Teshevitz, I have you all wrapped up. The little bathhouse imp, standing in the corner, cocks an ear and turns green with envy. True, I have promised to do him a favour, but the jealousy of our kind is stronger than anything. Suddenly the rabbi says, Forgive me, my lord, but I require another sign. What do you want me to do, stop the sun? Just show me your feet. The moment the rabbi of Teshevitz speaks these words, I know everything is lost. We can disguise all the parts of our body but the feet, from the smallest imp right up to Ketev Meriri. We all have the claws of geese. The little imp in the corner bursts out laughing for the first time in 1,000 years. The master of speech. I lose my tongue. I don't show my feet, I call out in rage. That means you're the devil, pick, get out of here, the rabbi cries. This to the bookcase, pulls out the book of creation and waves it menacingly over me. What devil can understand the book of creation? I run from the rabbi's study with my spirit in pieces. To make a long story short, I remain stuck in Teshevitz. No more Lublin, no more Odessa. In 1 second, all my stratagems turn to ashes. An order comes from Asmodeus himself.
Stay in Teshevitz and fry. Don't go further than a man is allowed to walk on the Sabbath.
How long am I here? Eternity plus a Wednesday. I've seen it all. The destruction of the Shevets, the destruction of Poland. There are no more Jews, no more demons. The women don't pour out water anymore on the night of the winter solstice. They don't avoid giving things in even numbers. They no longer knock at dawn at the antechamber of the synagogue. They don't warn us before emptying the slops. The rabbi was martyred on a Friday in the month of Nisan. The community was slaughtered. The holy books burned. The cemetery desecrated. The book of creation has been returned to the Creator. Gentiles washed themselves in the ritual bath. Abraham Zalman's chapel has been turned into a pigsty. There is no longer an angel of God, nor an angel of evil. No more sins, no more temptations. The generation is already guilty 7 times over, but the Messiah does not come. To whom should he come? Messiah did not come for the Jews, so the Jews went to the Messiah. There is no further need for demons. We have all been also annihilated. I am the last, a refuge. I can go anywhere I please. But where should a demon like me go? To the murderers? I found a Yiddish storybook between 2 broken barrels in the house, which once belonged to Veldale, the barrel maker. I sit there, the last of the demons. I eat dust. I sleep in a feather duster. I keep on reading gibberish. The style of the book is in our manner. Sabbath pudding cooked in pig's fat. Blasphemy rolled in piety. The moral of the book is neither judge nor judgment, but nevertheless the letters are Jewish. The alphabet they could not squander. I suck on the letters and I feed myself. I count the words, make rhymes, and tortuously interpret and reinterpret each dot. Alphet, the abyss. What else waited? Bet, the blow, long since fated. Gimel, God, pretended he knew. Dalet, debt, its shadow grew. Hey, the hangman, he stood prepared. Vyov, wisdom, ignorance bared. Zayin, the zodiac, signs distantly loom. Chet, the child, parentally doomed. Tet, the thinker, an imprisoned lord. Jod, the judge, the verdict, a fraud. Yes, as long as a single volume remains, I have something to sustain me. As long as the moths have not destroyed the last page, there is something to play with. What will happen when the last letter is no more? I'd rather not bring to my lips. When the last letter is gone, the last of the demons is done.